Hi, my name is Kyle Bullock, and in this video, I want to teach you how to get paid $5,000 a year just for becoming a better leader. Here's how. Wouldn't it be great to get paid just to become a better leader? It would be fantastic, wouldn't it? Well, in this video, I want to teach you how to do just that. But first, let's figure out, what does a good leader cost nowadays? What's the price of a good leader? Well, that's difficult to determine. It depends on the industry, depends on the position, depends on a lot of factors. But let's just say that you and I had a business together and we had to fill the role of someone who managed the daily operations of the company. Let's just say that that person would go for $100,000 a year. It'd be a pretty good paycheck for someone at some executive level position. So if you break $100,000 a year down into 50 weeks, it would be what, $2,000 a week. And then if you had 40 hours in the work week and you paid them hourly, let's say it would be $50 an hour, roughly $50 an hour. That's a pretty good price for someone who's an expert and a leader in an organization, for $50 an hour. So wouldn't it be great to get paid $50 an hour to become a better leader? Well, now that we figured out how much it costs for a good leader, let's talk about what makes a good expert leader. What would make a good person in that position? Well, an expert would require time and practice. They say, 4,000 hours at something makes you an expert at something. So it takes time and practice. It also takes diverse skill set. You can't just be good at one thing. You have to know how to apply that one thing into a variety of ways so that you can apply it in different work settings or different situations. So time, practice, skills training, those would make a great expert leader. And we might spend $50 an hour on someone who has a lot of time in something, practice in something, and a lot of skills training. Okay? Now, how do you get paid $50 an hour to get more time, more practice, and more skills? Well, first, if you're a business owner or a CEO, it's actually pretty easy. All you got to do is pay yourself. What I do is pick 2 hours in your week. Here's how you do it. I got my calendar right here, throwing it all over the place, but here's my calendar that I have at work. It's a whiteboard, and I fill it out every single month, and I put twice a week, an hour to an hour and a half before anybody gets here, a set-aside time that's undistracted and completely uninterrupted. I don't answer phones, I don't get distracted with the door chiming or anything like that. Those times on my calendar are for me to grow on my practice or skills on something. And I put it on my calendar. This is part of my work week. And if you're not a CEO, or maybe you're an employee or a freelancer, you might find that hard to do. As a CEO, or a president or a manager, I can make my time and my schedule to fit around the development of skills practice and training. But if you're an employee or a freelancer, that could be difficult. So for you, the best way to do this is to pick an hour twice a week, probably before you go into work. Maybe go to a coffee shop, maybe go into an office area where you're not going to be distracted and you're not going to be interrupted by anything. And that's your time to work on the same thing. And in this time, if you're a freelancer or an employee, all you got to do is think about, what can I do to add $100 of value to my week? Just $100. What can I do to increase my skills or my training that might increase my pay by $100? Or I could freelance myself out for this extra time for another $100 for a week, or $400 to $500 a month. If you do this every week for the next 50 weeks, for the next year, then you're going to add $5,000 to your paycheck or your bottom line. Same as a CEO. If you spend that same time thinking, what can I do to add $100 of value to my company this week, you'll add $5,000 to your bottom line. Of course, you can do this with any amount of money, but $5,000 is a great start if you haven't started anywhere. And all it takes is 1 hour in the morning before anybody else shows up, uninterrupted by anything. And you do this twice a week for 1 year. And you're going to add huge value to your bottom line. Now, I started doing this about 2 years ago. I started to come into work before anybody else showed up so that I could work on developing myself and developing my company without interruptions and add value to it. And I found two things to be true after about a year of doing this. The first thing was, after the end of that first year, I added about 20% of profit, both to my company and to my personal income. And I did this through either finding creative ways to save money or to increase sales through either increasing sales on the sales floor or finding new avenues for income. Adding 20% to my bottom line was huge. But the second thing that I found was that I left work feeling happy. I left work feeling fulfilled. I would give myself new challenges every few weeks that I would have to try to overcome in that working hour, that working 2 hours a week. And it was exciting. It made the job more fun again, and it was more fulfilling. And you can do the exact same thing in your life. Have a job that is more fulfilling and pays you more and produces more in the long run. All it takes is to take out your calendar right now at the end of this video and pick a couple of times during the week and pick your hour where you're going to work on your skills, your practice and training, and pay yourself for it. Why? Because you deserve it. And at the end of the year, I promise you, it'll be huge. Let's say you hit your $5,000 goal at the end of the year. Well, then next year, set it at $10,000. $10,000 extra dollars for that year. That's only $200 a week for 50 weeks. Maybe you hit 10,000, raise it to 20 or to 50 or whatever you want the goal to be. You can make it happen. But it just takes incremental steps, and it does it every single week. All it takes is an hour or two that's dedicated to uninterrupted time for skills and practice training. That was my video. If you loved it and it was fruitful for you, make sure you hit like on the video. And if you want more videos that bring you inspiring messages that help you cherish and celebrate memories and relationships in your life, then make sure that you hit subscribe on the Brilliantly Inspired channel, because that's exactly what we're doing every single week. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.